Hello everybody and welcome to episode 28 of Broadcast UGC. I'm Galactrix and I'm here with my co-host Bazag.
And good morning everyone.
And also we've got our guest author this week, it's AliMac30.
Hey everyone.
Hello and welcome back. Last time we had you on the show was in episode 10 and we ran through the city of the Pole Marie.
Yeah.
So now you've got a brand new mission for us. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, this is my third mission, only my third. Actually, right now, today, as we're recording this, is the first anniversary of me publishing my first mission, The Spirits of Ramak Nor. That was a year ago today. So this is only my third, so it's taken me a year to get 3 out. But this one is The Mains of Balnar Moon.
Cool.
It's going back to City of the Pole Marie. I still remember Liz the Ms. Wiz, or I think that was her name.
Liz de Vismes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember the voice you did for that design. We'll have to bring that back somehow.
Yeah, you might just want to keep a close eye on this mission. She may have a little cameo.
Okay,
we'll look out for that. So, shall we start the mission? Can you read us the description, Bazag?
Yep. 5 months ago, Balnar Moon was plunged into icy darkness as it began passing through the shadow of a gas giant. The ocean covering the moon's entire surface froze solid, and the only structure, a lonely Starfleet research platform, was left to a small team of caretakers. Now it's time for Starfleet to return. But are the caretakers the only things waiting in the cold on Balnar Moon? Captain, it's time for the ship to return to Earth space dock for its scheduled baryon sweep. Full evacuation of the ship will commence as soon as you arrive. However, this doesn't mean you can spend the week on Riser. I'd like you to check on our research station on Balnar Moon. My adjutant, Captain Page, will brief you on the assignment. Please meet her in Shuttle Bay 3 on Earth space dock.
Okay, and we happen to be in Earth space dock. So, apparently this is where we're supposed to go. Continue the mains of Balnar Moon. Captain Page to Vice Admiral Bazag or AliMac30 or whoever. Please meet me in Shuttle Bay 3 and bring an away team. I'm anxious for you to get underway to Balnar Moon. Now, I'm not going to bring any of my buffs with me this week because whenever that happens, then I can't actually tell which buffs come up on the screen because it always shows the same one.
Yeah, so it's probably good for the people who watch to see the different...
And I see you're bringing your Ferengi healer.
I like my Ferengi.
And here we go, Shuttle Bay 3. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Shuttle Bay looks like because I think I've seen teasers of it.
It's taking you a while to load into the map.
Yeah, it's taking a while. Live streaming. Nice. It's a corridor.
I really want to try building a curved corridor. So this is my attempt at a curved corridor.
Not too shabby.
Thanks.
Oh, there we go. I'm going to check out these other doors. See if they lead anywhere yet.
So this is my shuttle bay.
Very impressive. I like the view. Look at this out the window. It's Earth! With shuttles flying around as well. That's pretty cool. What kind of ships are those?
Well, they're not Starfleet ships, obviously, which is a shame. But I think they're Deferi ships because this is a. I think this object is called Sky Traffic 01, and I think it comes from the Defera ground map. But it's the only sort of moving ships effect that we can use in the Foundry. So I'd always wanted to be in Earth space dock and see ships flying around outside, because that, when you're on the Sol system space map, it's always so busy, and then you beam onto Earth space dock and there's nothing outside the windows, no ships at all.
Yeah.
So I'd always wanted to see some ships outside. So this was a little bit of do-it-yourself wish fulfillment, even though you can tell if you look closely they're not Starfleet ships. Just those white streaks flying across the Earth looks pretty cool.
Now, I know some people at home want to know, how did you make the map with Earth out the background?
It's actually the Earth space dock interior map, but you can build outside of the Earth space dock set, as it were. So this is in the very, very top left-hand corner of that map.
Very clever. So where are we supposed to go? We're supposed to meet Captain Page in Shuttle Bay 3.
Oh, I heard. Here we go. This Lieutenant Commander again said something about Liz. Here we go. We found her.
There she is. It's Liz DeVismis. She doesn't have anything to say this week. This time.
She does. She has a chat balloon that comes up periodically. So basically, she's when the chat balloon pops up, she's flirting with Commander again. This guy here is meant to be that chap from the center of Earth space dock.
Yeah, Egg. Who gives
Egg,
you that?
Yes, Egg. So Liz DeVismis is flirting with Egg, and she says something about being a married woman. So she must have gotten married since Pomo. I think she married the fish guy from the tank on Pomo.
Well, you never know. She was always a flirt.
Hello, Vice Admiral. Thank you for coming. Fleet Admiral Marconi and I would like you to go to Balnar Moon. We have a research station there. It's the only structure on the moon, a platform standing above the ocean that completely covers the moon's surface. 5 months ago, the research personnel were evacuated at the start of what they call shadow season, the period when the moon passes through the shadow of the gas giant it orbits. Shadow season is harsh. The moon is plunged into darkness, and the average surface temperature drops to 90 degrees below freezing. A small team from the Starfleet Corps of Engineers was left behind to maintain the research station through the shadow months. We haven't heard from them in a while, and the research groups are due to return to the station next week. Shadow season is ending, and the moon is emerging from the frozen darkness. I'd like you to take a shuttle and make contact with the engineering team. They've effectively been in isolation for a while, so it would be nice if a friendly face welcomed them back to civilization.
Of course, Captain.
I've assigned this shuttle to you while the ship is in space dock for its baryon sweep. Before you go, you may want to use the pad to review the personnel files of the team on the station.
First, I'd like to say that the Bezlo D doesn't need a baryon sweep because it's got Bob.
Right.
I actually did this on purpose in terms of how the story's working. I wanted to separate the player from their ship. So the notion is that your ship has had to return to space dock for baryon sweep, which was something that they did to the Enterprise D in one of the TNG episodes.
In the Starship Mine episode.
Yes. So your ship is having that done somewhere, and so you're separated from it, and you have to take a shuttle to Balnar Moon. But that was done intentionally, because the whole mission is about isolation. So it was about taking you away from the thing you were comfortable with and just isolating you. So you don't have your ship there as backup. You're just there on your own on this sort of frozen, windswept station.
So let's look at this pad just to see what's on it. Okay, we got a bunch of reports about each of the NPCs that we're going to meet. So do you want to read some of these, or just pick a few key ones?
We can probably skip it. We may have a look at William McFarlane. He's probably the protagonist in the story.
Okay, let's have a look at that one. Okay, that's William McFarlane. He's an ensign. He's a human. Hollow engineer, Starfleet Corps of Engineers, bound on Moon Station. Red Squad Award for Technical Excellence. Seconded to the Starfleet
runner-up.
Runner-up. Okay, so that's that guy. I assume we'll meet all the other people on the station, so let's go. Good luck, Vice Admiral.
Yes, Zelos T in the chat room has said, very impressive and so much attention to detail. All the NPCs are named. Yeah, I'm currently working on a map that isn't a custom build like this, but has a lot of assets that I've had to put on it. A lot of small little things that I'm doing with it, and it does take a lot of time just to a whole lot of put a whole lot of objects down, make sure they're all working, they're all linking, they all look good, and then adding some interactivity to the map.
He says it really pays off and pulls the player into the environment.
Yeah, it does. It takes a while, but it's a real labor of love, right? I mean, we wouldn't do it unless we really enjoy doing it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna read my friend. I don't know who.
It is the science officer, and we're being attacked.
We'll delay talking for now because there's holograms to fight.
I guess I must have moved too far away from the shuttle.
Yeah, there were lots of reach markers in here that trigger various things, so you obviously hit one.
Odd. Starfleet records for this installation do not mention holographic sentries. Our attackers appear to be modified versions of the station. Oh, that's not science, is it?
No, that's the tactical.
Stations, holographic drones, and they were using Orion weapons. It appears somebody has been doing some reprogramming. We should be wary in case of further attacks.
Indeed. So let's read what the science officer had to say before we got attacked. Okay, the yellow text is, the shuttle has landed on Balnar Moon Station. After repeated hails of the station from orbit went unanswered. Your bridge officer shouts to be heard over the howling wind. The ambient temperature is minus 18 degrees Celsius. It is rising rapidly as the moon moves out of the planet's shadow, but nevertheless we should attempt to get inside as quickly as possible. Our uniforms won't keep us warm for long.
Any life signs?
Besides us, I'm not detecting any life signs on the exterior of the station. Likewise, I read no life signs inside. However, something is limiting the effective scan range of our tricorders. It may be that the emergence of the moon from the planet's shadow is ionizing the atmosphere, but I cannot be certain. We should find a way inside and then investigate further.
Agreed.
And the green text was find a way inside, so I guess it's our challenge to find a way inside.
I'm just looking at the minimap now, and I'd like to point out that there are no waypoint markers.
That's right.
So
should we activate the store panel?
Yeah, so
okay, this is the engineering officer. Do you want
according
to read
to my tricorder, I did the engineering officer before. Yeah. According to my tricorder, this door only.
Yeah, because you did the tactical officer before. That was a tactical officer, not an
Oh,
engineering
did I? Okay. Never mind. Then I'll yes go.
You can be tactical because you're tactical.
Okay. I'm a shooty pew pew.
Okay, so Alimac, go ahead, read this one.
Okay. According to my tricorder, this door only provides access to the observation tower. There was no way into the interior of the station from here. Unusually, however, there is an active file in the access panel's memory buffer.
Let's view the
And then
file.
we can view active file or we can exit. Shall we view it?
Yes.
Let's view it. Okay. This is Edelmira Hooper, interim commander of the Balnar Moon Station, to anybody receiving this message. A planet-wide storm has battered this moon for the past 6 weeks, and the station is crippled beyond repair. We have barely enough power to sustain life support. 5 souls remain within. We seek assistance. Should help come too late, I would like to note that the crew of this station served with the highest degree of dedication and bravery. Close file. And the engineering officer says, the message was recorded 2 months ago, sir, on stardate 86897.3. According to the file header, it was classified as a distress call and routed for external transmission. For some unspecified reason, the message could not be sent. After repeated transmission attempts failed, the computer implemented emergency protocols and lodged the file in the active memory of every outward-facing console on the station. Understood.
Interesting. So I guess we were a bit too late, 2 months after they asked for help. Do you think they're still alive? Oh, there's a force field here with a little root under the thing.
The station's blueprints indicate that this is the cargo entrance. Unfortunately, the force field can only be deactivated from the inside.
Understood. So we can't use this as our way in.
No.
I really like this finding a way in. It's like you're going around the map trying to find different routes.
The power couplings to this door have been deactivated. The station appears to be in some sort of power conservation mode. We will have to look for an alternative way in.
Understood.
Now this is getting to be slightly, where's this
Getting
door?
a bit chilly here.
Ooh.
Oh, more thingies.
Ooh, holograms. Die, holograms, die! I'm not one for hologram rights, just FYI. Oh, more holograms.
Got another door here.
This door has power and appears to have survived exposure to the extreme cold. If I had an old-style 47A coil spanner, I could use it to trip the servos and open the door. Unfortunately, it's not the kind of thing we carry on the shuttle. They would certainly use 47As here on the station, however.
Let's search the crates, we may get lucky. Crates!
The crate contains used Orion disruptor parts. This may begin to explain why the modified holograms were using Orion weapons. However, there is nothing in here that will help us to open the door.
Understood.
When I first read this, I played this mission before, I wondered why there'd be Orion disruptors on a Starfleet station.
Wow, you may
we've
find
already
out. There's a lot of optional dialogue in this mission, for those who like to explore optional dialogue, and some of it does explain why. Oh, it's me again, it's engineering. The door servo mechanisms are frozen solid, there's no way to get it open.
Okay.
Just with that one, you might think about making the object invisible when the objective to find a way to enter is complete.
Yes, I did, but that would have meant replacing it with another door that wasn't linked to a trigger, and I had maxed out my 250 objects on this map.
Oh.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that one little thing, that was one of my sacrificial lambs. That wasn't.
Okay.
Okay, just cobwebs and spider eggs in this crate, sir. I'd be fascinated to know whether the eggs are still viable after exposure to such low temperatures, but now's not the ideal time to find out. I don't really want to fight spiders either.
Oh, spiders are cool.
I wonder if we have to like jump down this hole.
Yeah, you can't. I tried.
Oh, right. You tried to break it. Nothing but Lavinian beets in here, sir, frozen solid, and when they thaw, they're going to be pretty ripe.
Label the crate as a biohazard, then seal it up.
That was a little reference to the ripe Lavanian beets that Quark inherited from Morn in Who Mourns for Morn.
Yeah.
Field repair toolkit, sir, and there's a 47A coal spanner here. I can use this to open the station door.
Very good.
I'm starting to feel a bit cold out here. Let's go inside. We can now enter the station. Yay.
Captain P.F. Dennis's 47A, lol. Have you purposely been referring to using 47 as a number throughout your missions?
Yes, absolutely.
I am detecting a number of life signs, very faint, but am unable to pinpoint them or distinguish exactly how many are present. Our tricorders are still struggling to scan much of everything here, but I cannot work out why.
How about, have we detected anything beyond faint life signs?
Oh, that's a typo. I'll have to put that right. It should be faint, F-A-I-N-T. I have managed to perform a limited structural scan of the interior. The station has suffered extensive structural damage and has been placed into a power conservation mode. There appear to be a number of laboratories and storage compartments on this deck, but without power to the doors, we won't be able to gain entry to them. Survivors of the engineering team could be sheltering inside any one of the rooms. We will have to find a way to restore power to the interior doors.
We can either ask for help or do it ourselves. That's pretty cool. So, what did you try, Bazag, when you played this through?
I think I just did understood for this one. Figure it out for myself.
So should we ask for help then and see what happens?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's see what extra information is given.
Okay, there you go.
The facility was designed for operation in extreme climatic conditions. It should have a series of manual fail-safe switches for critical systems. We need to restore power to the door's servo mechanisms. However, we must be careful. Power has been drained into the station's EPS taps. If we trip those, we may cause a massive surge that would do more harm than good. And then the green text says, look for the manual switches.
Oh,
Ooh, a nice piece of wreckage.
bit of debris and wreckage and fire. Fire. I like fire.
So are you the one that's been using the exothermic induction thingy to set fire to the floor?
Yes.
Doesn't look like there's any switches here.
No.
Oh, it's pointing up.
Something here.
So we'll. Oh, there's a little ramp here.
Very clever.
Yes.
Oh, I recognize this thing. Yeah, ramp object.
Yeah, but it's not the one that we use, because if you come out here,
Look at that, the sea. Cool. So, which one should we do? Switching the EPS taps or the servo mechanisms? I thought it was the servo mechanisms first, wasn't it?
no. Well, we got to get rid of the ETF tabs, don't we? Just so there isn't a surge.
Ew.
I can't remember. It's
We read it out. Does anyone in the chat
I'm
room
going back to
remember?
the logs. Oh yes, we do not want to trip the EPS taps. So just a servo mechanism.
Okay, survey mechanisms. Okay, search for survivors of the engineering team.
Oh,
Oh,
spider.
spiders.
At least it's something different from holograms.
The door to the xenobiology lab and the door panel itself are both in working order. I do not understand why the door will not open.
Something's happened there.
Some kind of lab.
It's at a marine biology lab or geology lab.
I really like these door panel things you're using. I don't think I've ever seen them before.
Yeah, I think it's called wall piece. There's several of them. It's one of them. The objects that's called wall piece.
Here we are, nice and warm
Ah.
fire.
By the holy rings of Beta Z, we didn't think anybody would come. We heard noises, but Commander Hooper stops and visibly pulls herself together. Vice Admiral, welcome to Balnar Moon Station. What's left of it. I'm glad you found us.
I'm glad to have found you alive, Commander.
Hooper nods, and then indicates to the two figures set by the fire. This is Lieutenant Rix Talar, and this is Ensign Suze. Continue.
Can we get on train now? I got everything ready.
Hooper places her hand on Suze's shoulder and speaks reassuringly. There's no train, Suze. You know that. But the Vice Admiral has come to take us home. Suze lets out a small cheer, but then Hooper returns her attention to you. Forgive us, Vice Admiral. The way the wind screams through this place, the noise used to scare Suze. Billy, our hollow engineer, told her it was the whistle from an old Earth steam locomotive. She's believed ever since that a train was on its way to rescue us. You must be wondering what happened here.
So we pick one of these optional options, or just go for we're attacked?
Shall we just do the mission ones, and then if folks are going to play this themselves, they can explore the optional ones?
Yep, so everyone in the
That's,
chat room watching, you're going to have to explore the optional ones yourself and find deeper story. But we're going to say we were attacked by holograms.
Oh, that's a good idea. Triple up. I haven't tripled up. Naughty Baz. I guess I'll take over.
Yeah. Well, in the chat room says Captain PFN says, "Good idea. I wanted to play it." Yeah.
You mean the holographic maintenance drones? But they're not armed, and they're certainly not programmed to attack anyone. The only person who could modify their programming is Billy.
We need to evacuate you.
I agree. However, the maintenance holo programs operate throughout the entire station. If they've all been armed and reprogrammed, getting to your shuttle could be a problem. We've survived 5 months against all the odds in this place. I don't intend to get shot on the walk to our ride home.
What do you suggest?
Rix, head to the external door. Make sure our path is clear of debris and other obstacles. Suze, go to the holographic systems junction and disable the station's holographic projectors. We'll need you to send Billy's command codes. Captain, would you mind searching Billy's lab for the command codes? He practically lived in his lab. He even dragged his bed in there. If we're gonna find them anywhere, it'll be there.
Of course.
We don't have enough power to reactivate the turbolift, but there's a floor gate in the southwest corner of this deck. You can access the lower decks from there. That's where Billy's lab is. I'll stay here. I'll need to ventilate the lower decks and reactivate life support. And then I want to talk to Billy. If you'd like, Captain, you can speak to my officers before you go. But please don't take too long. I'm anxious to get out of here.
Understood. Now, we didn't actually hear anything from Rick, so let's talk to him. Are you going to stand around chatting all day, Vice Admiral, or are you going to get us out of here?
He's a no-nonsense Andorian.
So, do you want to pick an option, Bazag?
Oh, it didn't come up for me, so I'm gonna have to talk to him myself. Well, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna get you out of here because we haven't seen him say anything about Billy yet.
Delighted to hear it.
Let's exit. Oh, there's a doctor in here as well. An MH Mark 12. Another repeat character from City of Polmari.
Yes, it's the same EMH from Polmari.
Oh, really? Cool. Let's talk to that one. Can I help you, Vice Admiral?
Oh, once again, it didn't pop up. We can ask, how is Billy? How's the rest of the team? Let's ask how Billy is.
Ensign McFarlane is currently sedated for his own safety. He needs to be transferred to a starbase for a full psychological evaluation as soon as possible.
Okay.
Should we ask you about his mental state, because he might be the one to do all this crazy stuff. I'm a doctor, not a gossip column. As you know, Vice Admiral, I cannot discuss details of a patient's confidential medical file with anybody other than his next of kin or commanding officer.
Okay, let's go back and ask about the rest of the team.
They have survived, no doubt in large part thanks to my expert administrations. But they're engineers, Vice Admiral. They're not accustomed to failure. Abandoning the station and cowering in this room for 2 months has taken its toll on their physical and emotional well-being. I'd recommend each of them undergoes a full medical when they return to a starbase.
Alright, is that done? So we just need to find this crate.
See, there's just so much to see around here. I didn't even notice there was a back room with 2 other people in there. Now, we have to go towards the southwest or something, didn't it say?
Here. Just through here, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a grate. Inspect the
Let's
grate.
stand on it and we'll all fall through together. Or not. Just map transfer. Dope.
We can enter the Jeffries tubes here. The tubes will lead us to the lower decks.
Would have been great if we could fall through to the next deck.
Uh-oh. Holograms. Have the holograms always been in these orange jumpsuits?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yeah,
because the
they're,
ones on the outside were kind of tinted blue because of the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's the same costume.
Medical
So
consoles.
this is just some optional sort of set decoration stuff in here.
Oh, Dr. Lindy is dead.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
And that's why there's the EMH there. Haha.
Oh. Holographic systems and Billy's personal logs. Let's check the personal logs.
I really liked reading these personal logs.
Did you read them all, Bazag?
Yes.
I did wonder how many people would do that, because I flagged up here that there were 16, and then gave the player the option either to read the whole lot or just to ask the away team for summary. Because it is a lot of reading.
Let's do the summary. So we'll save the full read through of all 16 logs for people's experience.
Yeah, when people are playing this properly themselves, it's really worth reading the full logs actually, because you get so much more of the character of the story from reading those logs.
Ensign McFarlane's log mentioned that he made several attempts to reprogram the holographic maintenance drones after they failed to complete routine tasks. He also records obtaining Orion disruptors from a Ferengi trader who visited the station several weeks after Shadow Season began, and intended to use the face coils to repair the holographic subsystems. However, his attempts to repair the holograms were unsuccessful. After a large storm started in week 6, the holograms could not cope with the extensive amount of repair work that became necessary. It appears that Billy gradually became obsessed with the idea that malevolent, non-corporeal life forms called the Mains reside here on Balnar Moon. The idea originates from a pack-led children's fable told to him by Ensign Suze. He became increasingly fearful of the Mayans and believed that they intended to kill everyone on the station. He suffered recurrent nightmares and disturbed sleep, and his work began to suffer. He was upset that his fear of the Mayans was not taken seriously by his colleagues, especially when they suggested that his paranoia was linked to a past episode of a neurological condition called Shorek disorder. Given Ensign McFarlane's belief in the threat of the Mayans, it is conceivable that he may have attempted to protect himself and the station by arming the holograms and programming to attack any other life form than the station staff. However, there is no reference to the Ensign's command codes in his logs. We'll need to continue our search.
Thank you. So that's interesting. That's the first we've heard about the Mains of Balnar Moon. So, are the Mains actually just a figment of Billy's imagination?
That is the question.
Shall we check out this holographic systems diagnostic console?
This is just an optional one actually, so we could skip it if you were.
Okay.
Your combat chirps. Help me! The Mayans are here! Oh no, please! Please come now! Who did Rix?
Oh, I'll do.
That was Galactrix, I think.
Yeah, I've actually closed the window. I was actually reading it while I was milling.
I'll do it. Suze, it's Rix. You just stay there, special lady. Don't be scared. I'm coming to get you. Rix to Captain whatever. Are you any closer to Suze than I am? She's on your deck, section 217.
I'll head there now. Come on, let's get there. Oh, this is actually the outside bit. Yeah, see? I recognize it now.
Now come down from there and gotta find Ensign Suze. And her dead body. Oh no.
Oh no.
Of course.
I'm afraid Ensign Suze is dead, sir. The immediate cause of death appears to have been cerebral hemorrhage. I'm not certain what could have triggered it, although I'm detecting trace amounts of hyperonic radiation in the nerve cells of the cerebral cortex.
We need to inform Commander Hooper.
Ooh, it's
Captain to Commander Hooper. There's Nothing. No response. Commander Hooper, can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
More holograms. See, this is why I don't support sentient rights for holograms. They all go homicidal maniac on me.
Okay, looks like we're okay.
Yep, just gotta wait for the alert condition to go before they... Oh, there we go. A voice echoes through the room. They don't want us here!
Billy, is that you? Are you in here?
No response.
Sousa's comm badge chirps. Hooper to Ensign Suze. The EMH knocked me out, and Billy has gone missing. Have you managed to disable the maintenance holograms?
Sorry, Suze is dead.
She's dead, I tell you, dead!
She's dead,
Dead, Jim. Yeah.
Okay. You tap Sousa's comm badge and explain to Hooper that Suze has been killed. There is a long, heavy silence, and you wait quietly until Hooper speaks again. Captain, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get off this moon.
Actually, I want to find out what happened to her, because why would the EMH start to, you know...
Okay, what happened to you? After you left me in the crew area, the EMH put a hypo sedative to my neck and knocked me cold. Somebody, or something, must have reprogrammed her. When I woke up, Billy was gone, and the EMH program was decompiling. That's an irreversible procedure. We'll never get her back.
Oh, so she won't be making a repeat appearance?
No.
But then again, there must be
we're
more
all
than one
vice-
copy of her somewhere, you know?
Well, we're all vice admirals here, aren't we?
So you want to take command?
Yeah, we'll take command.
This was never meant to happen. I wasn't prepared for any of this. Hooper sounds heartbroken. After a pause, she continues. Vice Admiral, I would appreciate any orders you can give.
You can ask the away team, or we can just get out of here. If you ask your away team, Bazag, we'll just ask what Neural wants.
I think I just said forget the command code, so I'll ask the away team this time. So do you want me to read this?
Yeah, you read this one.
Yep. This situation has spiraled out of control, and I can no longer guarantee the safety of anybody on the station. I suggest we forget about disabling the holograms and make our way to the shuttle as quickly as possible. Once aboard, we can use the emergency transporter to rescue Commander Hooper, Lieutenant Rick Stellar, and Ensign McFarlane.
Agreed, let's start making our way to the So do we get to use this ramp now? I want to
Yay!
use the ramp!
Did we read the dialogue from the ramp on the outside?
Yeah, it said that it could only be opened from the inside, which is what we've
Yeah.
done.
Yay! Yeah, so it's an exit, but not an entry.
That's really clever. So this
Oh,
is the same
no.
map, but there's no, oh no, the shuttle's blown up.
Well, it's on fire.
Oh well, it must have been Bazag then, because we all know how Bazag likes fire.
This time I had nothing to do with it, I swear. I was here all the time with you. Okay, I cannot explain this, sir. There is no trace of explosives or flammable material. No weapons damage, nothing that could have caused the shuttle to burst into flames.
A lightning strike or deliberate sabotage?
The movement of the moon out of the planet's shadow is ionizing the atmosphere and causing meteorological disruptions. These shuttles are designed for atmospheric entry. They're not susceptible to lightning, and I've not detected any physical signs of sabotage. The only odd reading is an elevated level of hyperonic radiation. way above background.
There's that radiation again. Whatever caused this, we need another escape plan.
You tap your comm badge and inform Commander Hooper that the shuttle is out of action. Without the shuttle, we're trapped here, Vice Admiral. External communications have been inoperative for months, and there is literally no other way off this moon. We have no other option. We'll just have to ensure we can survive long enough here on this station for Starfleet to come and find us.
We'll need to protect ourselves from the holograms.
Are you able to get back to the holographic systems junction where Suze was working? We still don't have Billy's command codes, but we need to find a way to disable the holograms. Just shoot the damn console with a phaser if you have to.
Okay. So do we get to shoot a console?
You know,
Smash.
that's one animation that I really would like in the Foundry, just be able to, an interaction to shoot something right in front of you.
Yeah. Rix to Admiral Yu. Hooper told me about Suze. It's my fault. I told her to stay where she was. I should have told her to run.
There's nothing you could have done.
Do me a favor, Vice Admiral. If you find Billy, keep him safe. We're not losing anybody else here.
I will, Rix.
So that's interesting, a map transition, even though the bit where she was working was just below us. Do you think this is a good time to play Bite-Size UGC? I'm sure
Yes,
Captain PM Dennis is
Yeah, I'm sure he would like us to display his handiwork, so why not?
Okay, this is an episode of Bite-Size UGC which features a mission called Overlord by a new author called, I can't pronounce that, Clavane, I think. Let's see what it's like.
Welcome to Bite Size UGC Episode 23. I'm Captain P.F. Dennis, and with me tonight is Castmodian, as Kirkvat has the week off. We're looking at a first offering by a new author named Clavane. The mission is called Overlord, and it takes on a theme reminiscent of Terminator's Skynet, done in a very Trekkian way. Let's begin with the story.
Starfleet has lost contact with a research station in the Beta 259 system. You've been ordered to head there and investigate whether a relay has gone down or if something else is going on. There does appear to be other events occurring that Starfleet is not fully informing you about.
Upon arrival at the station, you are greeted with a fierce battle with your own people, and your investigation uncovers an experiment gone wrong. It's up to you to put it right or put it down. We gave story 4 stars. Now on to map design.
This is the author's first mission, and while it shows in the simplicity of the design, sometimes simple is all that is needed. The space map is straightforward and serves its purpose well. While I would have embellished the ground map myself more, there's nothing wrong with the presentation.
I enjoy the opening space map in particular, given my love of asteroid fields. I also thought the use of color was very well done. I do agree with Cast when it comes to the ground maps. A few more details would have been welcomed. Another 4 stars. On to tech.
There's nothing flamboyant, there's a couple of uses of branching dialogue. Technical gadgets aren't always needed to make an enjoyable mission.
I did notice, however, when committing sabotage on board the station, the consoles could have been a bit further apart. I had a difficult time squeezing in between them, even though my character is not overweight in the slightest. Being a first try, I must admit to seeing far worse. A little polish on details like these, and this mission will be just fine. We gave tech 3.5 out of 5 stars. Now on to difficulty.
Several of the ground fights could be difficult if not managed properly due to the proximity of NPCs, or if you're a charge into the fray player, such as myself.
Other than feeling that the first battle of the mission was a bit too heavy, I was just fine with the rest of it. It could get a bit tough at times, both on the ground and in space, but it was challenging and not ridiculously hard. Difficulty gets 4 stars. Now here's the bite-sized breakdown for Overlord by Clavane. If Kirkvat were here, he'd tell you.
Support the Foundry by playing this mission for yourself.
This has been Bite-Size UGC.
Okay, so we are back, and we're still in this this area where we found the body of Ensign Zeus, and looks like Bazag's taking a nap here on the lift thing. Not sure what he's doing. And so let's return to where Ensign Zeus was working. Just down this, and oh, there's a force field there now, and that's Billy, I think, behind the force field. Billy, I'm glad we found you. And there's no response. Let's just say, I'm here to help you. You can't help. They're so angry. They don't want us here. They want us all dead. Who does? The Mains. I know you fear the Mains, Billy. You don't know what I fear. Please, try to stay calm. Oh, explosion. Fell through the floor. Ooh. Okay, your combat chirps. Hooper to Grayson. The power conduits have ruptured throughout the station. The hull has breached in multiple places and we're taking in water. The emergency containment systems are failing. This station is sinking, Vice Admiral. Is there an evacuation procedure? We have a single life raft, the only one that wasn't removed when the station was emptied at the start of the shadow season. It has several weeks' supply of emergency rations and room for 8 people. At this point, it's our only hope. Agreed. The life raft is on the lower maintenance level. I don't think Rix and I can reach it. We're surrounded by holograms, and they're getting more aggressive. Rix is fighting them off. Right now, he's the only thing keeping me alive. I'm on that level. I fell through the deck.
Then you can help us. Look for the auxiliary power switches for the station's projection systems and shut them down. That'll be the end of the holograms. However, it will also disable the force fields and the structural integrity field. Every power node you shut down will allow more water into the station and make it sink more quickly. After you've shut down all the switches, it'll be a race to the life raft before the whole place is submerged.
Understood. I like how there's water on the floor. Should we ask how you did that as well? Because I know these foundry tricks. People like to know how you do these things.
Well, there's no water object, so you can't actually add water to a map. You just have to build on a map that already has water. So we're actually on Visa right now. We're on the Visa ground map.
Oh, really? I
So
didn't
this
even
is-
recognize this place
yeah.
as Risa. That's so funny.
No, so this is
Yeah.
this is built in the ocean on Risa. And actually, what we didn't do at the very start of the mission is we didn't read the dialogue that you get when you first hail the mission giver. And he explains that your ship has to be taken back to Earth space dock for a baryon sweep. And then he says, but that doesn't mean you can spend the week on Risa, which was a little in-joke.
I
because
did.
all
Hey,
of the,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Bazag did read that.
Oh, you did. So all of the maps in this mission are actually built on the Risa ground map. So that was a little.
That's a funny little pun, irony there. So there's a funny thing in this room. That looks interesting. I've never seen that object before.
It's water pump something or other. There's quite a few. They're all numbered. So that's one of them.
Should we keep going this direction, or do you want to go back the other way? Because there are a bunch of holograms there. Didn't really want to go down there. That's probably where we need to go though. Power in the
Yeah.
You
middle
see the
sector.
pipes? Do you see the pipes here on the wall?
These ones.
Yeah. Again, there isn't a pipes object, but they're on the end of one of the bars. So I think there's a bar or a counter.
So
or
you stuck a
something,
bar on
like
the other
on
side of the wall. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very clever. Just using the details you want.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted pipes and things everywhere. I wanted this to look quite industrial, so I think we're going to have to go and face those holograms.
We'll send a support drone on them.
Well,
Ooh.
one thing I really like is that you actually
Oh,
managed
spiders
to
and holograms. Spiders and
switch it.
holograms.
your worst nightmare. So what actually are these mobs? What animals are they?
I think they're Orions, weren't they?
Yeah, the holograms are Orions. Yeah.
I mean the spiders.
They're just. I think there is a spider mob actually. I think.
Yeah, I think there's a spider mob as well.
Oh. Just one thing I noticed is I like the use of these toggles. You actually manage to toggle the toggles when you use them.
Yes, there's a series of switch objects that look like switches. So one of them is up and one of them is down. So when you activate it, it's like replace the up one with a down one.
I'm cheating because I already know where all these are. The manual switch is inoperable, sir. If I had to guess, I would blame a lack of hydraulic pressure. The piping in this chamber has fallen away from its ceiling mount. The collapsed section is leaking high-pressure hydraulic fluid. We need to stop the leak from the pipe.
Okay, understood. Let's stop the pipe.
Okay, so the question is how?
So there's the leak from the pipe there.
I'll let Galactrix figure this one out himself. Because I mean...
And I think I'm on the wrong level. So I might need to climb back up again.
I was, yes, it took a while to find the solution to this one. For some reason, I just didn't think of it.
Oh really? So something that's maybe obvious, maybe not obvious.
I think it's very obvious when you know it.
Yeah.
Should we just tell him?
Yeah. I'll try
no.
and I'll
Okay, so
try and walk on these pipes.
you have to
and
actually
do it.
run
Oh, you
along
have to
the
walk
top
on the
of the
pipe
pipe.
and go to stop it yourself, right?
Yes. There we are. So now if you come back up to this platform, you can then use the switch, which I think Baz is going to do.
No. Yeah, I kept falling off when I did it because yes, I'm just very crappy when it comes to that.
That's quite clever, because my tricorder was giving me false readings because it kept telling me to come back to this switch.
Okay, so Baz has done the switch now.
And now there's more holograms.
Uh-oh.
Yes, we can turn the switch off now.
I like all the explosions. I like explosions.
Explosions are fun.
The holographic systems have been disabled, but without the emergency containment fields, the station is sinking faster than ever. We need to get out of here.
Agreed.
According to my tricorder, the life raft is on the opposite side of the station. Quickest way to get there is through the central tunnel,
Understood.
which just happens to be right here.
Through the big ominous door. By the way, if anybody's wondering where I got the big ominous door, it's actually the end of one of the colony building connector objects.
Ah.
Okay, this is Hooper. So, your combadge chirps with a hail from Commander Hooper. She sounds strangely quiet and inanimate, like she's finally given up on the world. Hooper to the Vice Admiral. I made it to the life raft. Briggs is dead. We didn't make it through the last group of holograms.
Stay there, Commander. We're on our way. So who's alive now? I mean, is it just Hooper and Billy?
Yep.
I think it is, yeah.
This
We're
mission has
losing
a
them.
classic, disaster movie type feel to it.
Yeah, definitely got a sort of like
Like,
epic
Posi-
cinematic kind of thing.
like the Poseidon adventure, type.
Oh yeah, with all the sea and the water and everything. I hadn't thought about that because I don't think we've played a mission where we've been like stuck in a big wet kind of environment. Oh, apart from that one where
And-
we were on the Leviathan's mission where we wanted in some kind of big pool with the weird
Oh, yeah.
lady. Oh, this is really cool. Central tunnel with explosions all around us. Are those explosions on triggers as we move forward?
Yes, they're on reach markers.
Your combat chirps, and it's Billy shouting against the sound of explosions and rushing water. Can anybody hear me? You've got to get to the life raft. I'm beaming the water extractors online, but I can't go for much longer. Please, get to the life raft before...
Billy, are you still there?
Nothing.
Sir, I'm detecting a single life sign, human, very weak in the room to our left. It's Billy. However, I'm also detecting massive amounts of hyperonic radiation and multiple unknown life signs in the room to our right. I hate to say this, but could it be the mains? That could be our only chance to find out whether they really exist. So what, you have to go save Billy, or you have to go save...
So
the
yeah,
Well,
so we
let's
can
try.
choose to try and go save Billy, or to just leave him behind. Or go to the right to
Oh.
learn the truth about means.
Yeah, or you can just go straight ahead and then get yourself to the life raft and ignore Billy and the mains. So there's a
Ooh,
three-way choice. here.
Three-way choices. It's very Mass Effect 3. No, let's go save Billy. I'm gonna save Billy. Or what do you guys want to do? What did Zag do?
I saved Billy last time.
Oh, right.
Spoiler, he's dead.
Oh, let's go find the mains. then. I
What?
want to see mains.
Sorry. Oh, apparently that's
holograms.
big to say.
Holograms. Okay, I'm scanning for hyperonic radiation.
Oh, what? My security escort stuck in the ramp. Well,
Well, they're just security escorts. No unknown life signs, and the hyperonic radiation is dissipated. Whatever was causing those readings, it's gone now.
The holographic projection system should have been disabled when we threw the auxiliary power switches. I have no idea how or why they came back online. Regardless, the water is getting higher. We have to get out of here.
Agreed.
agreed.
So when the water gets higher, are you actually like lowering the map?
Yes, you can't raise the water because it's part of the map, so everything else is lowering.
So you're shifting everything all the time. That's really...
Not everything, just enough so that it gives the appearance that the water's getting higher.
interesting. And we can't go save Billy anymore, because look, there's a big
No.
wreckage.
Actually, most of the decoration on these maps is on the ceiling and the walls, so that I didn't have to lower all of that stuff. So there's only the barest minimum of stuff that's actually sat on the floor that I would have to lower to give the impression that the water was getting higher.
Really clever.
Activate the 3-step launch process sequence. And it doesn't really matter which sequence they're done in. So, you know.
No, that's right.
Lucky there happen to be 3 of us.
Ooh, let's have a look outside.
Hooper stares out of the life raft at the sinking station, whispering a verse from an old naval hymn. And when at length her course is run, her work for home and country done, of all the souls that in her sailed, let not one life in thee have failed. But hear from heaven our sailors' cry, and grant eternal life on high.
Exit.
Our combat chirps. Ship to captain, can you hear me, sir?
Yep.
Glad to have found you, sir. The ship is pulled out of its barren sweep and dispatched to Balnar Moon when you failed to report back to Starfleet as scheduled. Our sensors show that the station is severely compromised. Prepare for an emergency beam out. And I'd like to point out the firewall that you put on the station. Ooh, pretty.
Oh yeah, I can see that in the top distance there. That's pretty cool. So you must have had to change everything on the map to give us the impression that we're outside of the floating around.
Yeah. Yeah, I've pulled that
Really
trick
cool.
before, the sort of zoning without zoning trick, but it's, I think it works pretty well here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can't go outside because there's an invisible wall.
Well, your
Yeah.
bridge
Go
officer
around
can
the
go
wall.
outside, so try sending your bridge officer somewhere. Use a waypoint. Like, stick her out in the ocean or something.
Okay, so who hasn't accepted yet?
Oh, that must be me, because I'm just looking around the pretty map. Energize. I wanted to give people a nice panorama of the raft. So what do you think of this mission so far, Bazag?
I really enjoyed it. I like the story is mysterious. You know that there's possibly something, but it may just be random radiation that causes Billy to
Hallucinate mains, even though the holograms
Yeah.
were alive, even though you shut down the hologrid, so something weird is going on. And
Yes, something weird is definitely
leaves
going.
mystery.
It's yes, and that's part of the reason I like it, because the full mystery is never revealed. So you get the story isn't so much about the mystery; it's about you surviving the mystery.
And with the options, it was like you get to choose what kind of things you were going down the road. Like you could have saved Billy, or you could have ignored Billy and gone to find out if their mains were real, but you never got to find out. So we're back at Earth Space Dock with Commander Hooper and the bodies of Ensign Ricks, Ensign Suze, Dr. Lindy, and Ensign McFarlane. You've been given a temporary office in ESD while the USS ship goes under the remainder of its scheduled baryon sweep. There is an incoming call from Captain Page on your console.
Oh, I'd like to. Yes. Oh well, let's read this.
Do you want me to read
Welcome
Paige?
back, Captain. Yeah. Admiral Carmoni and Marconi and I have read your logs about the events of Balnar Moon. An awful situation, although we're not sure there's anything you could have done to prevent it. The Admiral's of the opinion that Commander Hooper was not prepared for the situation that her temporary command turned into.
And we get to choose, okay. So do
So,
you
yeah,
agree, or do you say no?
Is it Hooper's fault, or is it just...
Well, I wouldn't have said it
Yeah.
was Hooper's fault, because, the whole thing, there was some kind of explosion, and then all hell broke loose, and then everyone survived for at least 2 months. So, she kind of held it together until Billy went crazy. And so would you agree with that, or would you agree with the Admiral?
I do not hold Commander Hooper responsible.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Something strange and unusual that wasn't any one particular which was not any of the crew's doing was still there, and you know she is the only one left alive anyway, so she is the only one who could possibly be held responsible, and you know,
So there you
and
go.
really no one should be held responsible, in my opinion. So what are we choosing? Are we choosing that?
I
or
already chose that.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes, I gathered as much from your report, and I tend to agree with you. You cited many events from the planet-wide storm onwards that contributed either directly or indirectly to the eventual loss of life and the destruction of the station. There are just so many unexplained occurrences. Reading through your logs, there are so many things that puzzle me. Why was Hooper's original distress call never transmitted off the moon? How was the programming of the maintenance holograms altered? What were the circumstances of Dr. Lindy's death? What was the significance of the hyperonic radiation? Who or what killed Ensign Suze? What happened to your shuttle? What caused the power conduits to rupture or led to the sinking of the station?
That's a lot of questions.
Yeah, and we decided that it wasn't Hooper's fault, and the captain sort of agrees with us as saying there were not all that many. There's just too many weird events that happened. Anyway, so reading on. Was all of this the doing of a man suffering from a psychotic episode and a distorted view of reality? Was it the result of the extreme climactic conditions, technical fails, and poor command decisions? Or was it the work of a malevolent alien force determined to evict Starfleet from Balnar Moon? Take a look at this excerpt from Admiral Marconi's initial report to Starfleet Command.
Let's play the excerpt.
So do you want to do this one, Galactrix, or do you want me to continue on?
I can do Marconi, okay. Ensign McFarlane's personal logs imbue Balnar Moon with a non-corporeal malevolence responsible for the events that occurred here. These fairy tale monsters are a convenient scapegoat, but in my opinion they're nothing more than seemingly supernatural apparitions existing only in the mind of a man whose susceptibility to mental illness rendered him victim to his own distinctly natural isolation. The mains are nothing more than delusions born out of cabin fever-induced mania. It is my belief that the events on Balnar Moon were circumstantial, the result of severe climactic conditions compounded by a failure in command. The role of Ensign McFarlane in the deaths of his colleagues has yet to be determined.
As you can see, the Admiral is skeptical about the existence of a malevolent life form on Balnar Moon. Starfleet will conduct an investigation, of course, but with the loss of the station, I'm not certainly. Certainly,
Do you know,
yes,
there's
I'm not certain.
that should say certain, and it says certainly, and I have corrected that about 4 times in the editor. I don't know why that keeps coming back. How very odd.
Are you sure it's not just late night?
It's the mains.
It's the mains.
I have corrected that so many times. I can't believe that keeps coming back. How annoying. Anyway, sorry, read on.
I am not certain they will be able to get to the bottom of the events that unfolded. And there is more pressing issue I would like you to attend to, Captain. I have spoken to the families of Ensign Rix Talar, Ensign Suze, and Dr. Lindy, and have explained the circumstances of their deaths as best as I could. Ensign William McFarlane's family is currently aboard the USS Alnwick on a deep space mission to the Delta Quadrant. I have spoken to Billy's mother by subspace and have informed her of her son's death. Also, I have sent her Billy's personal logs and your mission log. Understandably, she has questions, and it's the kind of thing I'd rather talk about face to face.
What would you like me to do?
I've arranged a holocall with Mrs. McFarlane. If you wouldn't mind, Vice Admiral, I'd like you to speak with her. We're relaying a bidirectional holographic data stream to the USS Alnwick via the Hyper subspace link through the Midas array. You can take the holocall on holodeck 4 when you're ready.
Okay, I'll meet with her now.
Thank you, Vice Admiral. I appreciate that, and so will she. You will receive our final report on the Balna Moon incident in about a week.
Thank you, Captain. I gotta say, I really like that office.
Yeah, I was wondering what the this doorway thing here is.
Yeah,
but
the glass
then
stuff.
Yeah, that's the glass from a display case.
It's 2 lots of the display case glass back to back.
Cool.
I've just I used them for a mission that I'm currently in the middle of creating for the Gates of Stovercore Ferengi contest that we forgot to mention earlier, that we had planned to mention but didn't.
So why don't you mention it now?
So on the 20th of May, yes, the contest ends. It's a 30 to 45 minute Foundry mission, Klingon Foundry mission that features Ferengi in some way. And that's pretty much the requirements of the mission. So there's a post on the Star Trek Online forums that you can submit your missions to after you've created them.
And you can go to gatesofstovercore.com to find out more if you want to read the whole post, and I think there's also an MP3 of Ceridium talking about it. So shall we accept this incoming holo call from the USS Alnwick?
Yes, let's.
Oh.
Ooh. Looking backwards and things are slowly disappearing.
Oh. Yeah, it takes a long time, sadly, for all of those objects to disappear, which is a shame. So never mind. So the conceit of this is that we're making a holographic phone call. So Billy's mother is sat in a holodeck on her starship in the Delta Quadrant, and we're on a holodeck on Earth Space Dock, and we're linking the two together so we can meet with her face to face. And what we're doing is
like Risa again.
Yeah, and we're going to tell Billy's mother that he died. And I kind of wanted to force the player to do that because it's such a long-standing joke about the red shirts in Star Trek that die. But every one of those red shirts was somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's father. And what happens to those families? How do you face up to them and tell them that Ensign Redshirt has died? So I just wanted to explore that a bit.
So
okay, let's talk to his daughter. He's playing in the sand. I can do this one if no one else wants to. Hello, are you from Starfleet?
Great voice.
Yes, I am.
Grandma Joanna said you'd be coming. I hope you're not going to tell us that Daddy has to go somewhere dangerous. If Starfleet ever tried to send Daddy somewhere dangerous, he would say, I quit.
I need to talk to your grandmother.
Oh, what are you up to? I don't think I'd read that.
Oh, you hadn't read that? Okay, let's go for that one then. What are you up to?
I'm looking for shells. There's some blue ones here, and they're hard to find, but I need them for my picture. Miss Paradise let me miss class so I could come, but she said I had to draw pictures of 3 interesting things to show everybody when I got back. So I'm drawing the shells first.
I need to talk to your grandmother.
Oh, she's on the cliff over there. It was nice to meet you.
That was a nice kind of way to explain what she's doing with this animation. Because you're always wondering, what are they drawing in the sand?
Yeah.
I'm going to sit with her and talk. Hang on.
Okay, are you ready to sit? There you go.
Oh, that's I didn't do it as a chair. Oh well.
Isn't
Oh,
it
I'm too cross-legged.
beautiful? Casperia at dawn. I could spend forever here and never realize the time. This was a second home when Billy was growing up. Shore leave with the boys, sitting on the cliff before breakfast watching the sun climbing out of the ocean, the light returning from the darkness, the start of a bright new day. He never forgot it, you know. He mentioned it in his last letter, and now he'll never see it again.
Mrs. McFarlane.
She turns to look at you for the first time. She has tears in her eyes, but speaks gently in a reassuring manner. You don't need to say anything, Vice Admiral. I recognize the face you're wearing, hiding the fact that your brain is scrambling to find the right words. I was a Starfleet captain for 24 years. I've been where you are now, far too many times. I just need you to answer a few questions, so that I can work things out for myself. In Billy's logs, he talked about the Mains, entities that he believed existed on that moon. They absolutely terrified him, and he would never have hurt a soul, but nobody there believed him. He reached out, and they couldn't see past the Shoric disorder. They thought he was crazy, just a delusional man driven by a cabin fever. Is that what you think, Vice Admiral?
So, I believed him. We need to investigate further, or the man's our fairy tale. Billy was not well.
What did you pick last time, Zag?
I picked we need to investigate further.
Yeah, that kind of is the same kind of thing that we, because there was, I don't know if it was conclusive, because we never found out, but there was something there. But how about this time we say, yeah, you believed him, just say.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can believe there is something there without actually knowing exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, so let's believe him.
Okay. She looks up into the sky for the moment, then wipes tears from her eyes and smiles as she takes your hand. Coming from a Starfleet Vice Admiral, that's good enough for me. You know, we fly around the galaxy exploring strange new worlds, seeking out new life and new civilizations, because Zephram Cochrane said we should, back when warp drive was new and space was a mystery. But is that what my son was doing on Balnar Moon? Did he sacrifice his life trying to better himself and the rest of the humanity? So, which one do you want to pick with Zag? He died keeping the water extractors online. That seems kind of...
Yeah, well, she already knows the logs. I believe he did last time.
How about nobody can die a hero?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, that's kind of, flat truth. Do you want to try that one? Okay, let's go for that one.
So nobody can die hero. So what do you...
Mm-hmm. Oh, but you're wrong. Look at this. She motions to the sea. All that ocean, wider than we can see, and so very, very deep. Full of things we can't even imagine. That's a strange new world if there ever was one. When I tell Ethel about her father, I will tell her that he was a hero. Not because he died saving his colleagues from a sinking station. That's called being a Starfleet officer. I'll call him a hero because he never let anybody stop him exploring the universe. He had an illness and he suffered from stigma because of it. But he always walked proud. He never gave up and he lived his dream.
You may be right.
Thank you for coming to speak with me, Vice Admiral. And I'm glad we could do it here, even if it's just photons and force fields. Stay and enjoy the view for a while if you'd like. I need to go talk to Ethel.
Goodbye, Mrs. McFarlane.
Very deep kind of moment there. You like to put these things into your missions, don't you? Kind of at the end of City of Polmari, and we're like, oh no, we blew everything up, and now this.
Yeah, well, I like all the Star Trek series, but DS9 is really spiritual home, and they
Mhm.
they often ended episodes on a sort of sad note. You know,
Yeah.
the heroes didn't win, and that was the bravest kind of storytelling, I thought. So
Mhm.
I'm daring to do that, and I get bad reviews because of it. I really do. But
Oh, really?
yeah, absolutely. But I mean, some I get 5 stars because of it as well. So it's a
Mhm.
sort of, you either love it or hate it, I think. But it's the kind of storytelling I want to do.
Definitely. So, so this is meant to be Casperia Prime. Cool. I've never seen Casperia Prime. They always say about it, you know, like Risa, Casperia Prime, that kind of thing.
Caspera Prime looks remarkably like Ryza.
Well, it's kind of more orange. It's it's that like what Terry was saying with the, you know, orange and sepia tones and in movies. So should we like computer arch? I want to see where it appears.
Yep.
Where does the arch appear? Oh, there it is. I like that. Oh, and the holodeck appears behind us. Cool. I'm glad I wasn't standing on the other side.
Yeah.
So what did you think of that mission, Bazag? Presumably you've written a review already, so what did you write? What does it say? What did it pop up?
I can't remember. It didn't pop up with what I read, so maybe I hadn't reviewed it. Oh, maybe I hadn't. I played it, but maybe I hadn't reviewed it. But I'm gonna give it a 5-star.
I gave it 5 stars.
Yeah, I really love the story, the mystery element, the separation from your ship, where you made it really feel like it was you had to fight for survival, and I really enjoyed that, and the ending, that was quite a emotional, impactful type of ending that I enjoyed as well.
Definitely kind of a thought-provoking story with I really like the investigation kind of bits throughout the whole thing, really. Like finding a way onto the station, kind of the mystery of whether the mains were real or not. And I suppose like all the optional dialogues that we didn't really go through kind of really fill it out a bit more. So, what did you think of the maps? Because there were definitely some impressive maps around.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine how much work it did to do the maps. Every single thing, a custom,
like, You must really know how what the limit of objects is on a map. I've never come across that before designing.
Yeah,
it's 250 objects plus 64 buildings, and I certainly maxed out the objects limit on every map, I think.
Wow. You must have to selectively pick, things to drop, like the flashing door that you can put in or take out.
Yeah, there are. Yes, when you get up to about 200 or 210, you start thinking, oh right, now I have to be very economical with what I'm doing. So you do end up sacrificing a few things, sadly.
So do you think they'll ever raise that limit, or do you think it makes people think, like, let's be economical with stuff instead of filling maps with completely random stuff?
Yeah, there was some talk in the forums from one of the devs. Was it Mapolis or somebody else?
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, I think it was.
Said that there was some talk of maybe raising the limit a little bit. But the limit is there for a reason. It's something to do with memory allowance or something. And I think if we put too many objects on a map, it really is just going to not work when people try to play it. So it would be nice to have a few more objects, but then, there'd just be a new limit to hit, and then you'd still want a few more. So you've got to stop it.
Yeah, you've got to stop it at some point. So
yeah, I did see I think it was a post where Mapolis posted limits, and there was he made a mistake and posted what they were thinking for season 6.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that amount was what has been decided or not, or if it's just what's currently in design. But if that is correct, it does look like we'll be getting more assets.
You know, I'm really glad we asked you about all the sort of like technical tricks you've used behind this mission as we went through along, because there were a lot of kind of interesting things you did, like the syncing map, and it must have been really complex to set up all this stuff. How long did it take you to make this mission?
I think it was about 5 months from the point that I started making it until the point that I published it. Well, I published my previous one, Paul Marie, that was in November. And then I started making this one probably in earnest right at the start of New Year, so maybe January. So I probably spent 4 months working on it. But, you know, I have a full-time job as well, so it's not like 4 solid months of working on it 24/7.
Yeah.
Just sort of evenings and so on.
Wow. How long did it take you to make a mission, Zach?
Depends on how detailed I go into the maps, but usually if I work straight through, it take about a week.
Because you got a new one coming up for the
yeah.
Stevicore competition, haven't you?
And that one is going to be a bit more detailed in one specific map than I've previously done, and I'm finally getting close to finishing it. So how did you think the Bajoran outfit? How did you think the ground combat went on this mission? Because there wasn't any space combat at all. But do you think it was a balanced kind of mission in terms of storyline and content and pew pew?
Well, there isn't a single space map actually in this mission. It's all ground. But there's a lot more combat than there has been in any previous mission of mine.
Yeah, that's what
it's all ground, but there's a lot more shooting. I don't know. I'm not great at setting up combat.
I actually prefer ground combat to the space combat, because the ground combat is where you get to be you and you get to have your bridge officers around you rather than just be a single ship. I think it worked pretty well. I didn't die all the way through this. I don't think anyone died.
I've had some reports from some people to say that they died multiple times or whatever. So it may need some tweaking. I may need to ease it up a little bit, but we'll see. But in terms of making a balanced mission, I'm just selfish when I make a mission. I just tell the story I want to tell. And if that means there's not a single space map in the mission, well, so be it.
Yep. Definitely go
because
for that.
The great thing about being a Foundry author is that you're not cryptic. You're not trying to make missions that will please everybody in the player base. If you're sensible about it, the reason that you're using the Foundry is because you enjoy it. And so if you're in there, you should be enjoying it. You should be indulging yourself, telling the kind of stories you want to tell, and to hell with the reviews in a sense. Just have fun.
Yep, I completely agree.
Yeah, same here. One of my missions is completely ground based as well. So, and as Alimac said, that's one of the great things at the Foundry. There's so many different styles of missions that you can do, and while people may not like certain styles of missions, and there are people that will want to play through that mission and experience the environment you've set up for them.
Yeah, I mean, in the description of the mission, I have flagged up the fact that there's no space combat in this mission. So anybody who's looking for that ought not to come and play it after reading a description that says no space combat. And still, I get reviews, that complain about the fact that there isn't any space combat, despite having pointed it out in the mission.
Yeah, some people. Yeah. Do they read these, descriptions? They should.
Yeah. But there is no way that you could crowbar some space combat into that story. It would make no sense.
No.
It would
it wouldn't make sense at all.
So obviously bolted on for the sake of including it that it would take something away from the story rather than add something to it, from my point of view.
Yeah.
So,
I suppose you could create Mayans as a space race or something.
Yeah. Maybe that's a sequel. Although I actually have no intentions of doing a sequel. I kind of see this as a self-contained story.
Yeah, this is like one of those definitely Star Trek episodes where it's kind of self-contained, kind of like that, like they have those in Star Trek, like the episode where the Enterprise made a baby and it flew away and you never found out about it.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, episodes.
Already people saying, "Oh, you have to do a sequel. I really want to find out what happened." But that's completely not the point of this mission. It's I really want to tell a story where you can't win, and you can't save Billy and find out about the mains, and everything turns out happy in the end. That's not what this story is.
Definitely.
It's about facing up to the fact that as a Starfleet captain, you're not always going to be able to answer everything, and you're not always going to be able to save everybody. So, to do a sequel and to answer all of those questions would be just to spoil the original story, I think.
So I think this is a good place to wrap it up. Does anyone have anything else to say? I know I want to say something. I want to say, can you tell us a bit about what projects you're working on next, Alimax 30? Like, are you working on any Foundry missions, or are you hosting anything new that we should be aware of?
Okay, well, I'm completely and utterly sick of the Foundry. Spending time building this. And, I have a life and a lovely partner and a job and all those things that get slightly neglected when I'm obsessing with the Foundry. So, no, I'm not going to jump straight into building another mission. I have agreed to help with something that Starbase UGC is doing. So I think they're trying to put together a featured episode series of their own. Multiple Foundry authors all working together to create something that forms a series. So I think I'm going to be building one of the missions for that.
Cool.
That might involve some big old map building as well. So that's a good thing. But I'm doing Fleet stuff. I'm the editor of my Fleet magazine. I've got a Foundry series called Foundry 101 that I've Foundry tutorial series called Foundry 101 that I've totally neglected the past few months, so I should probably write some more of those. So yeah, lots of stuff. Just probably not a mission for a while.
Very busy.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for joining us. And I hear you're going to be on Foundry Files on Stoked as well.
Yes, I am. I think what they may do first of all is review Balnar Moon with me just as a guest there, just to make some comments, because obviously I can't review my own mission.
Yeah.
Just give it 10s across the board. Yeah, perfect 10. So I think that might be my debut, and then Murphy is going off to Irish is going off to concentrate on Talked. So I'm going to be looking at technical aspects and reviewing technical aspects of the Foundry missions.
So I guess that's a good place to say goodbye. This has been episode 24 of Broadcast UGC. That was the mains of Balnar Moon by Alimax 30. Thanks everyone in the chat room for watching.
It's 28 Galactics.
It's episode 28. Oh,
yes.
Right, okay. Episode 28 then. And thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you again next week for episode 29. Bye.
Bye.
Attention, warriors and lore singers of the Empire. I am Karath, a warrior of Stovacor, and I'm Ceridium. Shut up, you worthless Patak. I'm speaking here. The Gates of Stovacor is looking for the best Klingon song of honor and glory. KDF Foundry missions. Do not put words into my mouth. I will say what I mean. Now, where was I? Honor and glory. Ah, yes. The song must involve those Berengan Kur. He means the Ferengi. You are trying my patience. Just tell them about the prize. We will reward the lore singer of the greatest and most honorable song with a small token of our appreciation. Korath? Very well. Since it appears I will get no peace as long as it's in my possession. It's a Ferengi marauder vessel. Just don't tell Gark, or I'll never get him off the Dabo table. That's right. The Gates of Stovacor will be giving away a Ferengi Decora class marauder vessel to the Stow player that submits the best KDF Foundry mission involving the Ferengi. The mission must be for the Klingon faction and should have a maximum playtime of about 30 to 45 minutes. We'll be posting a link on the Stow forums for your submissions. Are you done yet? We just need to tell them how long the contest will last. I will handle that. It runs until the first day of Maktag. And for our listeners who don't speak Klingонese, the contest ends on May 20th at midnight, PDT. So get your entries in for a chance to win. That's it. You've meddled in our affairs for the last time. Time to go. Face me, you coward.
Did I really say 24? I bet I said that at the beginning as well. I don't know why I said 24. It's because I'm looking at 24 something for some reason. Oh well, thanks everyone in the chat room for watching. Thanks for, sorry about the, bizarre problems we've been having with the live stream cutting in and out. And it seems to have cut out again by itself right now. For some strange reason. I didn't say goodbye and it cut it, but it's cut out, so, oh well. I bet they think we cut it off on purpose, but guess not. Oh well. I'll pretend it's all on purpose, yes. I'm just really glad that we managed to play this. Like, are we the first people to play this? I don't know. I know they mentioned it on Podcast UGC. I was like, no, I don't want you to review it on Podcast UGC first. We already arranged to have Animac on this. Yeah.
Okay, thanks guys. I'm gonna go get some sleep.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.